All right, so you just said a magical word. You said Huracan.
Huracan. So Chicago car guy, y'all. But
Yep.
I started with a 325 out of 2002, and from then I've just been advancing it, taking it to the next level, taking it like how can I be better? So going through cybersecurity, doing a little bit.
That's what I was just getting ready to ask you.
Yeah, so
How?
I do cybersecurity full time, stopping hackers from hacking companies.
How'd you learn how to do that?
So I didn't go to college. I learned on YouTube. So
Oh, wow.
So looking at YouTube videos, being around people that actually do it, and learning from them, taking the certification tests, and applying for the job, and starting off as an analyst, engineer, and getting into that management space. So
How long you been doing it?
10 years.
Okay, 10 years.
Yeah.
And when did you get the Huracan? Where is it? Where's it at?
All right,
All right, let's go over there and see. I'm gonna shoot his video. Then you can chill. Let's get see his car real quick.
What are you gonna do live?
No, I'm just gonna shoot this video.
Okay, then can I wait?
You can
for
chill. You can chill. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna check out his new whip and congratulate this brother on his Huracan. What's good, man?
1221 wheels? No, that's the name of the brand.
All right, so he's balling out over here.
19 or 20, or is it 2021?
Oh, it's matte. He got the matte. He's got the matte yellow, clean.
One guy, you got tagged on the side. He get tagged. Tag me. Yeah, I usually do the graffiti. It's PPF.
I should probably put that on mine. Tag me.
PPF on top.
I like that.
Wheels. Yeah. I believe it's a fab speed exhaust on here too. Yeah.
Bro.
But I wanna upgrade the exhaust. I wanna go.
So my channel is all about capturing this story.
Okay. I got
So
you.
cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity.
Taught yourself. My bad. Did you want to finish talking to him?
How old he was?
29.
29.
29 years old.
29 years old.
29 years old with a Huracan. Self-taught cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity. Learned it on YouTube.
Learned it on YouTube. Went and got his certifications.
Being around people that do it.
Uh-huh.
I got my first job actually on Craigslist.
Let's rotate in front of the car.
So being around people that do it, right, you wanted to be in that space.
I wanted to be in that space.
So
yeah.
So you found people who did it better.
Yeah.
And you learned from
Learn from them.
Yeah.
Learn the mistakes that they made. Build off of that. Yeah. Like, oh, this is how you do it. This is how you not do it. Just getting those little bits and building myself from what I'm learning from other people that do better. Yeah. Bang bang.
10 years.
Like to be
29 years old.
29 years old.
Bang, bang.
I like surrounding myself with people who know more than me.
So let me ask you this. You got the job.
Got the job. Yep.
Got into management.
Management. Yep.
So are you able to do the Huracan working for a company, or did you do your own thing, or what?
Both. So
Okay.
I work for a company and also do a little consulting on the side. So
Okay, now consulting helps, I bet.
Yeah, consulting helps. Yeah. So
being a cybersecurity expert, doing consulting, that sounds like money.
Yeah. So pretty much finding vulnerabilities in websites and servers and reporting on those.
SQL injections and all that kind of stuff.
Cross-site scripting,
Yeah.
doing all of that, and giving the reports to the companies so they can patch those holes. Bad guys go out and exploit those vulnerabilities.
Hey,
Yep.
congratulations, bro.
Brother,
So we gotta stay in touch, man.
Yeah, most definitely.
So you got YouTube? What you got?
Yeah, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Chicago Car Guy.
All right, y'all go check out Chicago Car Guy.
I try to post at least twice a week, but don't hold me to that 2 to 3 times a week.
So do you watch YouTube?
I watch YouTube all the time.
Hold on, and you never saw my channel, bro?
I never.
You never look for Lamborghini videos?
I have, but I've never seen your. I've never
Wow.
heard.
What's wrong with this YouTube algorithm?
I've never heard of you. man. I've
Usually
never
if somebody's
heard of you.
looking for a Lamborghini, they usually will come across, especially a Huracan. I got a bunch of.
Perfect.
Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Will Motivation, and today we're talking about how much money I made in my 20s. I like to be really transparent on how I was able to afford these vehicles in hopes that I inspire somebody that's watching. So this will be the first of a 3-part series where I talk about how much money I made in my 20s and what I was doing in my 20s to kind of set myself up later on in life. How much money I made in my 30s will be part 2. What I was doing in my 30s to kind of set myself up to where I am today, and then how much money I've made so far now that I hit 40. All right, so let's get started.
Motivation.
That's right. Okay, as you guys know, my name is Will Motivation. Welcome to the channel. If you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you like to learn about strategies on how to be able to afford supercars and this certain, what I call millionaire lifestyle. So I don't really like to say that I'm a millionaire. I don't like to say that I'm rich because I don't know. Rich is defined differently for different people. And being a millionaire, I don't know if it means that much these days. But I'm going to basically share with you guys how much money I made in my 20s to kind of give you guys some perspective. So, you know, and some motivation, because if you are in your 20s now, or if you're in your 30s now, you might be able to relate to where I was in my 20s and what I was able to do and accomplish in my 20s, or not accomplish in my 20s, to get to the point that I'm at where I am today. Now, first of all, some of you guys might be wondering, well, who is this guy and why should I care? A lot of people tune into my channel because I'm very transparent about my experience owning supercars. I own 2 Lamborghinis. I did have 3 Lamborghinis. I just sold one of them. I own this Lamborghini Aventador. And I also own this 2015 Lamborghini Huracan, supercharged by VF Engineering. Stupid fast, fun cars. I put the cars on YouTube in hopes that I can motivate some people to put in the work, focus and dedication, make the right moves, so that they not only can look at supercars, but one day they can own one. And for all of the people out there that already do own them, I'm just sharing the experience as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like to do on my channel. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. You know, a lot of people think that in order to have a supercar like a Lamborghini, somebody has to give you some money, or you have to get lucky, you have to hit the lotto or something like that. So first of all, I'm in my 40s right now. When I was in my 20s, I finished college when I was 21. I finished college. I had a degree in computer science. My first job out of college, I made $35,500 a year. So $35,500 a year was my salary coming out of college. So if you do the math, that's a little bit less than $3,000 a month, and gross income. And then if you take the taxes out, I was only making $2,000 and some change per month. And early on, I figured out only making a little over $2,000 a month was not going to be enough money for me to do some of the things that I wanted to do, because I love cars. Because not only do I have these Lamborghinis, but I also have like a Ford Mustang GT. I love that car. I have an Audi S3, which is right behind the camera. Some of you guys might have seen it on video. I also have a Jeep Gladiator. I just love cars, right? So I knew making a couple grand a month was not gonna do it for me. So I started to do, very early on, I started trying to do side businesses and side hustles. So from the time I was about 21 years old up until I was about 27, I was trying different types of side hustles. I thought me and my buddies created a computer business. We didn't make any money with it. We didn't even really get it off the ground. I tried to do several different websites that barely got off the ground. But from the time I was 21 until I was about 20, in 1999, I was about 26 or 27. So let's say 27 years old. I had got a raise every year, so I went from 35 to like 38 to like 41 to like 48. I think I maxed out, and I was at the same company. I made a jump to be a consultant, and I went from making about $48,000 or $50,000 a year to making $75,000 a year. So that was a big jump for me, and it's the reason why I jumped, because I knew I had to like make more money. So I became a consultant for 1 year. I did consulting. I made $75,000 a year. It was the most money I had ever made in my life. So, you know, I did double my salary from the time I started working to the time I became about 27 years old. So I started making 75 grand a year. My savings was probably like, I didn't have a whole lot of money saved. I probably had 15,000 saved up maybe after all of that time. But I did buy a house right around that same time. Probably when I turned about 28 years old, I bought my first house. It was a $160,000 house. I think I put 10,000 down or something like that, maybe 13,000 down. So my savings wasn't that robust, but I did have a 401k. So I probably had about 30,000 maybe in my 401k, something like that. Maybe 25 to 30,000 saved up in my 401k. So I bought a house. And the reason why I'm mentioning this, because I'm trying to give you guys a picture of what my net worth looked like. And back then, believe me, in my 20s, I wasn't even thinking about net worth. I wasn't thinking about Lamborghinis either. I was just thinking about, like, I was trying to figure out a hustle that would work. So one thing I did discover in my 20s, the biggest thing that I did come out of my 20s with is I started a business. I started a software company, a social networking business before there were any like Facebooks and LinkedIn's. I created a social network because I knew how to write software. I knew how to write computer code. So I developed a social network. It's called HBCU Connect. You can check it out. It still exists to this day. It's still my main business to this day. Yeah, I don't think I made any money with it when I was in my 20s. But I started the company, you know what I'm saying? So I had something that I was going to work with that I knew I was passionate about. I knew eventually it would be something because I started to get some traction with it. Now, by the time I turned 30, so like I'm giving you the complete picture of my 20s. I went from being a consultant for 1 year, and I went back to my original company because I didn't burn any bridges. So that's one of the lessons for today is when you change companies because you find a better job, don't burn the bridges whatever job you're leaving, don't burn any bridges. So when I left that job, they knew what the deal was. They knew I was getting ready to get a major salary increase. So I just told them, hey, I'm going to try to do this for a while. But I had a great experience working at this company. I worked at AT&T Bell Labs as a software engineer. Then I worked at a small consulting firm called 3X. I made 75 grand a year. But then towards the end of that year, I started my company. This was like 1999, 2000 time frame, like 2000. And I knew I wanted to focus on my company, but I needed to go to work somewhere to make a living, right? So I figured if I would go back to my old company, then I would know the ropes already. I wouldn't have to be studying every night because I almost went to work for Microsoft. Microsoft made me a job offer and I considered it, but I wanted to focus on my new baby, like my new startup company, right? So instead of going to work for Microsoft, I went back to my old company because they still liked me. They knew what kind of work I did. They made me a good offer. So they raised me from $75,000 a year to $85,000 a year plus bonuses. So I got a raise, going back to my old company, and I knew I wouldn't have to be sweating, the work wasn't hard for me, you know what I'm saying? So went back to my old company. This is like right around 2000. I think I was probably at that point in time, when I went back to my old company, I was only about 28 years old when I went back to my old company. I worked at my old company for 4 more years. I gave them 2000 to 2004. I worked at my old company for 4 years. So I went into my 30s. So by the time I was in my 30s, I finally started making a little bit of money with my new company and my new business. And when I say a little bit, I was only making an extra $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a year. So it was enough to it was extra money to help me pay for little things here and there and keep the website going, but it wasn't enough to live off of. So in the part 2 of this video, when I start talking about how much money I made in my 30s, I'll get into how, I went from, starting that company, going back to my old company, and then when I finally quit and started running that company full time. But I wanted to give you guys a snapshot of, what I did in my 20s, man. I finished up college in my 20s. I started working, and by the time I came out of my 20s, when I was 29, 30 years old, I was making around $85,000 to $90,000 a year, which back then was pretty good money, and it's even good money now. But you know, I still had big dreams. You know, I just had big dreams, and I wanted to do my own thing. But as you can see, like, you know, to the point where I am right now in life, you know, I'm a real estate investor now. I've got several properties, you know, so I'm a real estate investor now. I have several properties. I have probably about 20 to 22 investment properties that I rent out. I have several businesses now. I have 2 more businesses. One is software related, one is the social network and recruitment related. And I finally am at a point where I can enjoy having some of these things like Lamborghinis. All right, so a lot of people wonder, what did this guy do, you know, in his early life? Did I strike it rich, you know, in my 20s? I didn't. My 20s were pretty good, you know, as a college graduate that had a skill that was in demand, software development skill. But I wasn't making super big bucks. I wasn't making 6 figures in my 20s. Maybe I'll say my net worth when I came out of my 20s was probably around, my net worth coming out of my 20s going into my 30s. My net worth going into my 30s was probably around maybe $40,000, maybe 40 to 50,000. That includes a little bit of equity in my house, a little bit of a 401k, probably like 20 or 30 into that. So I would say, and I had some cars. That was it. So my 20s amounted to about $30,000 to $40,000 of net worth. Okay. So, like I said, in part 2 of this video, we'll talk about how much money I made in my 30s and kind of how that went, to part 3, which will be what I've done in my 40s so far. And this whole point of this video is to give you guys some perspective to kind of see where you're at, and that, you know, sometimes getting to this point is not like a get rich quick scheme, but if you have the information, somebody sharing this kind of information with you, you can accelerate how fast you get there. And I didn't have anybody, you know, like this. I didn't have a YouTube, you know, to tune into. I didn't have any family members that were dealing, you know, and doing deals in the millions of dollars or building businesses like that. I didn't have that. So I didn't really have a mentor like that. So this is my way of kind of trying to share some information to get you to think about things that you can do to accelerate your success. And like I say in all my videos, success is different for different people. Some people might not care about the supercars and the Lamborghinis and that kind of thing, and some people, they do like that kind of thing. But whatever success means to you, I'm just trying to share some experiences to help you get there. All right, so stay tuned for part 2. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. This is your boy Will Motivation, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, you guys probably want to see a cold start. All right, I'll start it up. Peace.